Gorgeous women, today is International Women's Day. And what's a better way to celebrate being a woman? Celebrate. Celebrate being you, unique, exquisite, radiant, limitless, the badass, the goddess. You. As a woman, and as a healer, and as a psychic, and as your personal development mentor, the strategy developer in you, the muse, the alchemist, from my heart, as a woman, as a mom, as a stepmom, if you are in challenging times right now, don't give up. There are women out there just like you. You will find them, they will find you. And you are going to be inspiration to those women one day too. Elevate, align, and remember, you're absolutely amazing. You can do anything you set your mind to it. And as I speak in my Radiant Feminine You programs, a woman is a creator. What compounding are you doing right now? What are you elevating with? What is not happening for you right now? And maybe everything is like a seed. It's sprouting. It's underneath in the soil, growing. And you don't see yet the little first bud, the little first growth, the little first of anything. But it's coming. The pineapple season is coming to you. So trust and surrender. Trust and surrender. Have faith. And align yourself with women, older mentors who are understanding you, who are seeing what you need to grow, to expand, not just to lift you up, but be there for you and with you when it's sticky, when it's yucky, when you're at wit's ends and you don't know what to do, when a self-doubt comes in, an imposter syndrome comes in. Can you do it? Is it a business? Is it a motherhood? Is it anything like that? It doesn't always have to be in a business. Because for me, before doing the business coaching, it's always about personal. You cannot have got successful business without the personal parts of you being in alignment with a true core of you. If your inner child is popping up and self-doubt is popping up, how the business is going to be so busy. You will self-sabotage it. Or you're going to have elevation and drop, and elevation and drop. Because your wounded masculine and wounded feminine is not in alignment of a pattern. And sometimes we have to drop the patterns or allow them to outgrow them and create a new filing cabinet or files to put into the new filing cabinet. But from my heart to your heart, doesn't matter what legacy you're leaving behind, is the one which is true to you, authentic you, soul-led, heart-led. And all the work, what I do it, and I always say this, for me, for you, for us, as women, to support women. And today, it's a perfect day. I am going to fundraising for Women's Shelter in a local area where I live for victims of domestic violence. And as some of you follow me, you know that that's exactly what I was, a victim of domestic violence. Growing through it and experiencing it and understanding it now. How does it, work the whole system in Australia, in New South Wales? What to do, how to do it, where to get the help, where there is a help. and what's the best way to grow through the whole experience and not to be a victim, even technically in the eyes of law you are, but how to actually grow from it and become the victor. In my case, that was the fastest growing, learning experience ever in my life about narcissist, toxicity. How does it look like? What do they do? What games do they play? How to do love bombing? Until you don't experience it on your own, I would say, skin, it is very hard to understand it. When you listen to someone's stories, you're thinking, how is it possible to happen? It really is. It's unreal what they do and how they do it. And what manipulation do they use and how do they, cut off and gaslight and everything else what they do. And there is so much more what I can share with you, but not in today's live. So I'm honored I'll be there, sitting at a table with all the board members and helping those women. Is it emotional help? Is it psychological help? Is it just to listen to them? And being with them. Because in those moments, you do feel so alone. Because people are known to be judging. I remember when it happened to me, one of the coaches who was a male, and he said she must have not loved herself enough that she attracted this person in her life. That wasn't the case at all. In my case, it was about understanding now the whole process. And so many women, after they heard what happened to me, came to me and they said, I know that you understand this. It's like seeing, let's go say, a male coach who's never been married for marriage advice. And you have children and that I have no children. How they will understand you. They will give you methodical formula what to do. But when you ask them for the real examples and real life experiences, they are not going to be able to give you one because they never experienced that. So for me now, I don't even use to tune in to see what's happening, because every single person, when they come and see me with narcissistic abuse, I just go and ask them about 10 questions, and literally 9 out of the 10 is yes, yes, yes. I don't have to tune in at all. I tune into different parts of that person to help her to grow with it and involve and embody and heal, and then she will have a choice what she can do with that. But living in the past and reliving the past is not something that I teach or encourage. Once we go through it, we make a decision. What are we going to do with that? And we heal and embody and grow and elevate. But we cannot elevate if we don't actually clear it up energetically and then emotionally. So it's two different things. And I do the energy healing, so we're going to clear it up. But that does not happen in one session and it's like, you do muscle testing and it's like gone and dusted and everything's done up. It takes time for the body to reprogram, for your nervous system to reprogram. That trauma, like from the war, if you follow me for a while, you will know that in a war in Croatia, when I was starting to be a registered nurse, and it was for 5 years, the war, and it finished in 1995. And even today's day, when the helicopters are flying over my house, I stop. I kind of, have to compose my breath and kind of know that I'm in Australia and that I'm not living overseas in Croatia and that I'm safe, that this is not a hospital, they're not bringing the wounded people from the war fields. And I'm okay, like the trauma is still there. Like, we can't erase it, that we never get a memory. But what we can do is put the different files in a filing cabinet. And 4 or 5 years ago, I actually see them for the first time in a helicopter. And that was huge for me to do it, to sit down into it. Because all what I remember is bringing the wounded soldiers and civilians from the war, from those helicopters. That was my memory. So helicopter represented to me trauma and physical trauma. Physical trauma, because I didn't know if I was gonna, pick up a boots of a soldier with just like a name tag. And, gruesome as it is, and I'm saying this, those boots were not empty. And I just had a name tag. And this is me, a young nurse studying, and even now when I talk about it, I just thought of their family when that happened. So that things will stay with you, and I do it from a gratitude point of view and love what I could do that day for those people, for those families, and I honor every single civilian or every single human or every single soul. Doesn't matter if they were soldiers or not soldiers. So now when Ukrainian war is happening and I see this on the television, it is very hard, because I know what those people are going through. How does it feel when a bomb falls down, and how the window shatters, and how there is no food or scarcity, and you can't have a shower, and you can't have got certain things because there is no water, there is no opportunity. You don't know what's going to happen. So what did I taught my children from that experience when I had my children? Gratitude, 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 gratitude. So that challenge, what happened to me, the war in the nursing, gave me many experiences which I use in my everyday work to today's day, even doing this video and explaining this to you. The narcissist had to walk away. When people say, my marriage fell apart, did it really fall apart? Or did it got into the place where it's supposed to come into the place? And you were brave enough to walk away like I did. Brave enough to walk away and say, this is not for me. This is not for me. Because if a narcissist doesn't want to do anything, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Except walk away. Otherwise, you'll be walking away in a coffin. And I know this because I was left unconscious. And this is predominantly what happens to the victims. And as my friend experienced this a couple of weeks ago in her suburb, one woman was, this is Australia, Sydney, 21st century. 2 weeks ago, a woman was bashed to death by a male. In Sydney home, she was bashed to death. And it's 21st century. By the time the neighbors called the police, it was already late. What pain, what experience her body experienced, it is mind-blowing. And this is 21st century Australia, and this is what's happening. So, Women's International Day. My programs are all about the women and about conscious parenting, manifesting, radiance of the woman. There are many more programs which are going to be coming up. But if you're male and you want to work through your trauma and inner child, of course you can. I do work with men. Majority of my clients are females. But the males see me for inner child, for the emotions which are trapped, for not trusting females if they had trauma with the females too. Sometimes we combine what I see through the psychic? What do I see from tuning into it, through the inner child and a timeline? And how to move them forward. Because you cannot move forward if you're going to just put the things underneath the doormat and think, I'll just be in a positivity. I call that positivity toxic positivity. Until you don't actually clear up, own the things, be vulnerable, it will be just compounding on something which you don't actually believe, and it's going to crumble. It's going to fall apart like a domino effect. So love and light to you all. And to the women, if you're listening to this, I will be doing a meditation today, and I will be posting it up on my YouTube. If you like and subscribe to YouTube, you will see it, you'll hear it, and it will be meditation for women to celebrate you. So the days when you're not feeling the best and you just want to give up is the time when you listen to it and you work through it, because you know that you're incredible. You're a creator of life, of projects, of anything you set your mind to it. We're doing this for you, for me, for us.